May 31st, 2023, last day of May here. Of course, it's growing season for most of us, probably everybody in my area. It's growing season. We've got our gardens in, we've got everything ready. We've had to replant some stuff to get it going. But something I want a lot of people to understand, in a full-blown SHTF situation where there's no stores, you're not buying nothing. The minimum amount recommended is 200 square foot per person for a garden to be able to survive through the year. My thoughts on it is you need to double that size. You need 400 square foot, and you need cold weather crops, warm weather crops. You need to keep it going essentially year round, right? You need to keep your garden going. Some people say, well, you can't keep a garden going year round, but during the fall and stuff, you can plant your onions, things like that that'll come up in the spring. It takes a lot of food. If you're living solely off of what you're growing, it takes a lot of food. Now, we're all for people container gardening if that's the only space they've got. Every penny that you save growing something is more money that you can put back for prepping. You'll see a lot if you got social media, people post a meme or something of like a tomato plant, after 2 months and this and that, I saved myself $3 on my tomatoes. It's not about that. It's what's going in your tomatoes and things like that. But the most important thing is, let's say full-blown SHTF, and all you have, is a patio garden or something. It's going to get really tough on you. It is. Now, one crop I recommend growing is potatoes. You can grow them in buckets, cardboard boxes, feed bags, all kind of stuff. And if they grow, you get more bang for your buck out of them. You need to look into growing potatoes, whatever type of potatoes you like. Try to grow some. You may find that some potatoes won't grow in your area, if you're planting them outside in your garden, or they may not do good. You may just get small potatoes and a couple big ones. But potatoes, that's something you need to focus on, is potatoes planting for SHTF. Now, I know people are going to get tired of eating potatoes. One thing I refuse to eat to this day is potato soup. I don't like it. I just don't like it. You might see me eat it once every 10 years. But full-blown SHTF, yeah, I'm going to eat it, right? I mean, if that's all I got. Another thing with stocking up here, a lot of people think they just go buy 2 or 3 cases of ramen noodle and they're good to go, right? You need more than that. But to get back onto the gardening stuff, it would take a huge garden to feed a family of 4 for a year. It really would. Now, if you have animals added into that mix, you're going to go bigger. We've said before on here that you have to have the room to grow your feed for your animals plus your family in a full-blown SHTF. You're going to see a lot of the bigger homesteader channels on here. It's got a lot of animals that rely on feed and seed stores to feed their animals. They're not going to be able to keep them up during SHTF. But 200 square foot, that's per person is what they recommend. I recommend 400 square foot per person if that's all you're living off of is your garden. And you've got to have cool weather crops and warm weather crops in it. No matter how much time and effort you put into your planting, something could happen. Some stuff may not come up. Some stuff may come up and the bugs get it, right? Or you'll have a plant comes up, looks all pretty, and it doesn't produce nothing. Those type of situations happen, and you need to have a big enough space where you can get it. If that does happen, you're more likely to get more in, because believe it or not, farming, gardening, it's not a guaranteed thing. It's not. Just because you put it in the ground doesn't mean it's going to come up. That's just the simple facts of it. Here, fertilizer and stuff like that, we don't use fertilizer. We don't. The most you'll ever see us do is maybe put some Miracle-Gro to them. That's it. But as far as a lot of channels on here, they'll tell you got to amend your soil, you got to do this, you got to do that. Find what'll grow in your soil. It's the best thing to do. Here, everything grows pretty well here. Good dirt, whatever you want to look at it grows pretty well here. But you also got to stop and think, what are you going to do? That's 4 people, 800 square foot. That's a pretty good sized garden, but you need to double it, 1,600 square foot. And you got to stop and think, what if I don't have a tiller? What if I don't have my track? You're out of fuel. You're out there doing this by hand, or if you're lucky enough to have a horse, a mule, or an ox or something, and you have the old-timey tools to pull this stuff, you're going to be better off. Last year, we decided to do a garden area, and we turned it with a hoe, a shovel, and a grub hoe. That's what we used. and it was some work. It did good. The garden did good, but that's some work right there. A lot of people's not going to be able to do it. We say all the time, if you can grow in a container, if that's all you got, grow in it, right? Look into growing potatoes. You know, some people say, I don't like potatoes. I don't know what to tell you. You get more bang for your buck out of your potatoes, I feel like, when you grow them. You know, you can grow them, like I said, buckets, bags, boxes, whatever. Just something to hold dirt and put the potatoes in, right? You got to think outside the box on some of this stuff. Let me know your thoughts on it. Do you think that everybody will be okay growing their own garden? You think everybody nowadays is capable of growing their own garden? You know, we're talking, the only thing you're getting is coming out of your garden. There's no stores. Let me know your thoughts on this. If you're still watching, hit the subscribe button. Keep your head on the swivel. Be aware of your surroundings at all times. Protect yourself and your family at all times, because at that moment, you're the only person that can do it. Stay safe. Get prepped.